talking about challenging and delaying. So, what's up with the DA Action SA Afri Forum threatening legal action over the Land Expropriation Act? Like, like my problem with these guys, name, especially DA, they make threats and never make action. So, like, who are they trying to fool when they keep on complaining? We will do this, we will do that, and then later on never do anything. We will
But
do this,
but
do that.
sometimes they do. Just that when it comes to pulling out of the GNU, that's the one thing where they draw the line. They're never going to pull out of the GNU. They're going to be in there for as long as Ramaphosa can kick them out,
But then
or Ramaphosa can amend the ANC and the MK and EFF relationship, where then now the two have to come in, because the DA said they will leave only if the two are allowed inside of the GNU. But then the other things, obviously, DA being the DA, they'll take you to court. They'll challenge 1, 2, 3. Even the Bela Bill, you remember, they wanted to take the government to court. Until then, there were certain things that were relaxed. Even the NHI bill is the same thing. They took the government to court. It's still an ongoing thing where the NHI still is not in effect.
But then, like, my idea is, even when they were still the opposition party, they were doing that.
Yeah.
When them being in the GNU, are they being any way productive?
I don't really think they are in any way being that much productive. But what the DA has been able to do is take credit for some of the work that was done by ANC ministers. Like, for example, they said that in the Department of Home Affairs, there's certain things that were done. And those things, believe you me, they were not done by this new guy who just came in. They were done by Aaron Motsoaledi.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron Motsoaledi is the one who's been leading and championing so many things there in the Department of Home Affairs.
Yeah.
And now the new minister is taking credit as if it's something that the DA did, which is not what the DA did.
Yeah.
And that's what the DA is there, trying to do as if things are in a good way. Whereas them, they're...
So certain times that they found themselves in positions where things were running smoothly, and then they now claiming. So now at the end, maybe when it comes to campaign, they'll be like, when I got there, things were in shambles, but in less than a week, things were alright. Yeah, understand. So they just playing that game.
And even now, when we go back to the expropriation bill, they're saying the bill is not what it looks like. Hence, you have so many political parties that are challenging it.
Like, what does that
EFF is challenging it. DA is challenging it. Which other parties? I think there are several parties that are challenging
What about
it.
MK?
MK as well. I think they are challenging it as well. Yeah.
So what could it mean?
It can only mean one thing. I think obviously over time it's going to be explained to us what the expropriation bill really entails. But for them, they are saying ANC is just trying to...
Apparently, Cyril Ramaphosa signed the bill into law. So whatever they want, the bill is already into law. So on Thursday, so apparently saying it's after a 5-year process. So this means since Cyril Ramaphosa came into power, he's been working on this, and then he finally signed it on Thursday. And then the DA says, okay, so the act replaces the previous law on expropriation dating back to 1975. Okay, so the DA says there's serious reservation about certain aspects of the act. So that's all the DA is saying. Action SA is also considering legal actions, saying this is yet another example of the ANC's relentless push for destructive policies. I don't even understand why the Action SA says destructive. Civil society group AfriForum says it will be launching its own legal action to protect private property rights. Meanwhile, COSATU has welcomed the new act, hailing it as an historic victory for the working class, the dispossessed, and the downtrodden. SAFTU says that the act is a significant milestone in a bid to address economic disparities. So it seems like SAFTU, COSATU are all in for this act, and then AfriForum says they need to protect private property, and then Action SA says this is just a destructive policy. So
yeah, I think that's very true, because one part of the bill or the act, if it's in effect, is that it says that authorities are required to negotiate with property owners, and they need to attempt to reach an agreement on reasonable terms before proceeding with expropriation. And then it goes on to say expropriation is the last resort. So that's not really expropriation.
Yeah,
Because if you are expropriating, there's no need for you to even negotiate. It means you are taking back something that was stolen.
So or I think maybe, I feel like, what if instead of, maybe if they don't give the land, they give what's equivalent to the land.
They give what's equivalent to the land. In what terms?
So let's just say, maybe if a land of, I don't know, 8 miles, I don't know, and then it's worth 500,000, and then maybe, so for that sense, maybe those guys can, maybe it's in a way they could buy.
Compensate.
Yeah,
So you're saying, that's what the law that has been signed into power by Ramaphosa indicates. It states that expropriation is subject to just and equitable compensation. So it means that they will be compensated.
But then now that's tricky too, because right now, okay, they're buying it from the government.
So it's a willing buyer, willing seller situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, because right now, the government, right now we know the government is corrupt. So if the buyer is the government, can we really trust the government to come back and redistribute the wealth if they're gonna be buying?
It's not really about redistributing the wealth. It says for public interest.
Whoa.
Government interest and public interest. So it's not for an individual's interest. No, but so what's gonna happen is, let's say maybe they want to construct a road here, and then you are refusing to sell your house. You're refusing to take money as compensation for them to come and construct a road here. It's for public interest, right? For people to move from point one to point B. So they will remove you by force and then give you money to go and construct somewhere
else.
Yes, and hence they say
so if it was
expropriation is the last resort.
So what if it is not for public interest?
What else can it be?
Right now, because I get it, the main aim is that land was taken from black people unlawfully and by force.
Here the law doesn't really go to that. It doesn't address that. Bro.
So right now the whole point of land expropriation doesn't really make sense, because right now, if we are trying to take somebody's land, that has already been happening. Because for instance, if maybe the government had found a mine in your house, they were gonna buy you out.
You see here, it says what it says: the law enables local, provincial, and national authorities to expropriate property to promote inclusivity and equitable access to natural resources. Hence, I'm saying, if the government want to do something on your space, then they can come and try to negotiate with you. If you are not refusing, if you are not agreeing to the condition that are put forward, expropriation is the last resort.
Like I get that. I think my disappointment is, I thought the whole point of land expropriation, maybe without compensating, the whole point of that was to give back to the previously disadvantaged, because they were expropriated of land. They were made disadvantaged by this by them being taken off their land. So now, if the government is to take back this land, take back money, was to try to level the playing field again. You understand?
No, that's not really.
So right now, all
that's
this,
not really what's in there.
so
Actually.
all this is actually like doesn't, it's not really for the benefit of the black person, because right now it's only for the benefit of the government, what they think, or maybe what big businesses, the big businesses that invest in the government, is what they want. If now someone want to say, "Ish, I want to open a resort, a game resort," they're gonna make it like it's humanitarian act, but no, man, it's just a business. You understand? So like that's not necessarily like really clear on really how it's gonna benefit the normal person. You understand? So like, so I can get maybe who was that? Is it Action SA saying this is just a destructive policy? It's just all in there to blind people. There is no land that's being taken. You know, yeah, there's no land.
So Hansen, now I'm looking at the Apartheid Expropriation Act of 1975.
Yeah.
So under this one, it outlined how the government could expropriate property. And the act reflected the political and economic context of the time, obviously around 1975 and all that. So what it did was it enabled land and property seizures, often without fair compensation or due process. So meaning that the government can wake up today and say, the people of Tulama should go find somewhere else. We've discovered gold here. So even the compensation on its own,
Sometime
when
wasn't
now
even fair.
it wasn't fair, yes. If you find that you build a 2 million house and then they come and give you 100,000.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what are you
okay.
going to do with that 100,000 leaving behind property that was worth 2 million?
Okay, yeah, fine. People back then were duped, but right now that doesn't mean. Right now, what about those ones that were duped? Can they be paid back? Because people were removed, right, and then and not being paid fairly. So what about them? What about, for instance, those people that were moved in 1975 and were not compensated fairly? What about them? Because those are the ones that deserve that they build a 2 million house and then they were paid 1 million. They deserve to
thing
be
is,
compensated
I don't think
because
it
for
will.
that crime.
I don't think the new act or bill that has been signed this year will in any way address the previous
Injustice.
injustices.
Yeah. So,
So
like, what's its point really?
actually now it's just that navigating forward, this is what's
Okay.
gonna happen.
Okay.
If the government wants to seize certain land somewhere, they want to construct a certain something that is going to be of public interest. They want to construct a stadium. They want to construct a mall. They want to do property that is going to benefit the government in whatever way. They want to construct a railway line. Let's say maybe, for example, it's Sandral or it's Transnet. They can remove you. That is the last resort that they are putting on the line to say, if you are hard when we are negotiating, the last resort is we remove you. So that's what is actually going to happen.
Yeah, I get it. So for me, I'm not really excited about this bill. It's like, it's whatever.
So
guys.
I think the part where that's why you'll see other parties challenging that, and the main reason being it's not really what we think it is. That's what I'm saying. It's not really what we think
my
it
whole
is.
point of it was, if you're taking land, it's trying to level the competitive field again, empower the previously disadvantaged, and then so that if my grandfather, my great grandfather's cows, 500 cows were taken from him, now all that money is brought back to me. Now I know, okay, I can send my kids to school. They don't have to struggle when they're at school, all those kind of things. When they need anything, I can be able to support them. I can be able to start a business myself and be able to build it to greater heights. You understand? I felt like that was the whole point of the act. But then now it's only for the government. If they envision, they need to create a lab where they do research on diseases. They can do that. Just come take my house and then research diseases, and then they let them spread out and kill everybody just because they want to. Because who will know whatever they decide to do? They will claim it's for public interest, but no one will really know because it's the government.
Yeah, so actually this new bill that has been signed into effect favors the government more than it favors you, a South African. So I don't blame the other parties. Someone was even laughing at the EFF and saying, "You guys, you don't know what you want. You said you want to expropriate the land. Now Ramaphosa is signing a bill that allows the government to expropriate the land. You guys are complaining. It's just that obviously, without context of
Without
what,
context,
yeah,
you won't understand.
you wouldn't understand as to
Yeah.
what is in the bill. What does the bill entail? Then are we gonna have a fair and equal share towards the land in South Africa?
Yeah.
It still doesn't advocate for that. And
Yeah.
for the likes of the DA to challenge that, obviously, is to say that our farmers, wherever they are farming, you cannot just go there and remove them for government purposes.
Yeah.
So you cannot go and remove them, because that part where it says expropriation is the last resort, it means that they can remove you by force.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it's not necessarily to say we're giving back the land to this person, or maybe they can do that for.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What do you mean when they say expropriation? So wait. So they can. So we can negotiate.
They're gonna come
And
and
then-
negotiate with you first.
And then there could be an alternative where I don't move.
Where if you don't move, then they remove
Wait,
you by
wait.
force.
It's only if I don't move. There's no alternative that no guys, me I don't wanna move. You all can just take part
You
of
can
this.
contest. You can contest the removal. But the thing is now, since it's signed
Like-
into effect, it's a bill that has been signed.
Like the aim
Even
is
if
just
you-
to remove you.
The aim is to remove you and do something there that is of public interest. They don't just remove you for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
and even the apartheid government, when it was moving people in strategic places and moving them to the marginalized areas in Limpopo, in those other places, the Transkei and stuff, they were doing that because they saw where the minerals are. Pela, you move people from where the minerals are so that you can come and mine easily. You don't have to pay them off.
Yeah.
You move them off fertile land so that you can come and take the land and distribute it amongst you people of your color. That is what they did during apartheid. So now what the government is saying, we're going to take the land for public interest. Public interest meaning if we want to come and do certain development here, we want to start a certain project where we're building RDPs, for example, for people to come and stay, then they can come and take your land. Even if you do not want by force, but they're gonna first try to negotiate with you.
Yeah.
So although it has faced a backlash,
No.
but then still the matter of fact is the government is willing to compensate you. So it's a
Like-
willing buyer, willing seller at first, but
like bro, anyone bro, it's for me bro. Like you can say, hey guy man, I wanna build here at your space, man. We really want to build more, man, and stuff like that, bro. I'm like, just give me my money's worth. I can move for that. Like, that's not even a big deal, dog. If you're gonna give me my it's irrelevant to the normal day-to-day man. A person maybe who doesn't have a house, a person who's been previously disadvantaged. I feel like the whole point, like that, is they should just tell those for rich people who maybe have property. It's a teenager doesn't really care about this. Someone who's in varsity, you know, so like it's all politics, because I just thought the men, when anybody talked about expropriating of land and we voted for them, we thought it was for the benefit of the normal day-to-day person. Take it. Yeah, but if you want to buy a house, like, bro, somebody just say, hey, bro, I want to buy a car. You name the price, they give you the price for the car. Okay, you move on, you go buy another one. Like, that's not a big deal. You know, like, we don't even have to know, bro. You're just telling us you're going to come and tell me, hey, I'm going to give you the fair price for your house. You want to do something normal. Oh, okay.
But now, that's the thing, where certain people do not want to surrender their land no matter how much money you give them. So now the government is saying they will come.
But
look, they're saying they will come, measure your land, determine what the price could be, the market price, offer you that. You refuse, they remove you by force.
But what I'm saying is, that has always been the case.
Yeah, that has always been the
So-
case.
so-
But then the problem is certain people still do not agree to that amount of money that is being offered.
Like
so
my
the
idea-
government is saying they're not gonna
Listen.
raise, they're not gonna
Ma-
pull the money up.
My point is, whether you take it or not, the government coming to expropriate it when they want it was never a choice for anyone, even back then. So they're just stating what has already been, that whether you like it or not, we are going to take the land. Whether you're happy with it or not, we're now just letting you know. Yes, because back then you thought it was apartheid.
But you could
Even the
contest,
government
you could
today.
contest it back then as a community.
No, but okay, so right now maybe
You
it's
could
like
contest it. It's
Even if you
it's
contest-
a matter
okay.
of majority, bro. Like back then, it used to be a matter of majority. Where let's say maybe if there's like 5 people, 4 are agreeing, 1 is saying no. They will take the land, obviously.
Like,
They will
I
remove
like
you
they
because
are
there are 4 already, but now they're saying it can be challenged in
Well,
court
we're
if
talking about-
if the removal and expropriation of land is not fair, is not equitable. Then you can take them to court and
so
say
they can
I do not
compensate
agree
the
to
right
do that.
man. Yes, I understand when it comes to money, but
Yeah.
my point is now, whether they like it or not, they will remove you. You will contest how much money you want, Mara. You will be moved. You understand? So they just, because they're just playing the game, that you might think they did that because it was apartheid. Even us in this government, we will still remove you, whether you like it or not. You
Yes.
can just cry about the money.
Yeah.
We'll end up giving you money, Mara, and at
Yes.
the end of the day, we will
Yes.
remove you.
But then now the issue is a lot of people are complaining that this is not about land reform. When you talk about land reform, is
Yeah.
addressing the previous injustices that were there, where
That's
people were
exactly.
dispossessed of their land
Exactly.
without consent, where they were taken off such this land and then they were put somewhere else. So a lot of people, which is what the EFF talks a lot about, where they are saying we need to reform the land. When we're saying we're expropriating the land, we need to make sure that everybody has a fair and equal share to the land that they can work and then sow something out of it. So, but then with what is happening now, this thing being termed the expropriation bill, it doesn't really talk about land reform, where people are
Exactly.
compensated, where people are given back what used to be theirs.
Exactly. That's why I felt like if they say, okay, now let's just say we're taking land, or maybe we're taking ownership of certain businesses and stuff like that. If you don't want to give me that, you can maybe or maybe let's just say there was a man that previously disadvantaged people. You can take the money's worth, take 50 million and then redistribute it to the community.